Welcome to episode 21. Yes, Johanna Banana is now legally able to drink. Yes, I'm very happy that our show can now go into a bar and drink. Okay, so let's recap from the last episode, which is in Georgia. Please throw me the cap.
Oh, no, okay.
Ruby is, we are filming, if you haven't noticed, from a new room. This is Aiden's room. And he is not as much of a stuffed animal hoarder as his mother, but I think you do get your love of stuffed animals from me. And so let's see. Got this seal when we redid his room because it just, I don't know. I got him this because Aiden is so into black and gray. Yes, I don't know how Aiden became a clergyman like my dad, but his favorite colors are black and gray. So when I found this stuffed animal, a seal, I don't know, I just thought of Aiden. So I had to get it for him. And Ruby always likes to be on it. I had a great birthday. You saw we spent Aiden's birthday in Georgia. He had me go on, what are those planes called? Biplanes?
Yeah.
The biplanes. I don't know anything about planes. Why are they called biplanes again, Aiden?
Because they have two wings.
It's pretty obvious. Okay, 2 weeks. Anyways, whatever, Aiden. He made me go up in a biplane, so I dragged him for my birthday, which was last Monday. I dragged him to the aquarium. I'm big into butterflies. Check it out. Got this new butterfly shirt going on. It's all sparkly. Love the sparklies. I dragged him to the butterfly place. Aquarium. We saw those mechanical dinosaurs. We saw a bunch of stuff for my birthday. I had a great birthday. I didn't feel like filming. I thought I'm going to take a break from filming, and we just had a great birthday. KP was awesome. She took care of my babies, my scale babies. Everyone talks about their fur babies, but I got scale babies, and so took care of our scale babies. Mango, which is our gecko, he was like, whatever, because he's not really social. The ironic thing is, I got Mango for me, but you know what? He likes Aiden better. Yeah, he likes Aiden better. He didn't really get fazed by it. Blizzard didn't really get fazed by the fact that we were gone, but Miss Hooby Hoob, Ruby, call her Hooby Ruby, Hooby Ruby really missed us because she's used to living in a world of stuffed animals and shows. She watches all our shows with us. She's really rarely in her terrarium. She is like a cat, and so she's always with us. Actually, I don't even think cats are with people 24/7. She's even like, I don't know, she's like a dog. She's just always with us. And so I think she had a hard time. This is the first time I've ever taken a week vacation. It was the longest time that we'd ever left her, usually just a couple days. So she had a hard time. Yeah. She's like, I miss them. She's coming down. Go on down. Go down, Ruby. Go down.
There you go. Careful.
Here she goes. She's going. Here she goes. Okay. So let's start with part 2. We're going with part 2, the A-Team Ken. Let's go to that. A-Teamer. I was about to say his name because we always call it A-Team. Okay, so now this one I do have a lot of regrets about, and that's why in the opening quote I say that I learned from this, because this relationship started out really good, as they all do, right? But this relationship really did start out good. We talked, in the beginning we talked and we were on the same page. At first I was really happy. I mean, like I had said to Aiden, I thought I had won the lottery. Because I would come over. He worked a lot, okay? He worked during the week. He traveled all over the U.S. And so on the weekends, we would only have Sundays. That's right. We'd only have Sundays because I work Tuesday through Saturday in the grooming industry. So we would work, I would only see him on Sundays, and which was good. Because the funny thing was, like, when I first decided to get back into dating, for the first time in many, many years, because I had been a stay-at-home mom, I didn't have any friends. So it was when I got into the grooming industry is when I met people and like KP, everybody. And that's when I became friends. So when I first decided to start dating again, the one thing that my dad said to me was, he said, don't let your friends go to the wayside. And I've seen that happen. I mean, where girls just, focus all the, and I've done that. I'm guilty of it, where girls just focus all the attention on the guy and kind of drop their girlfriends. So in the beginning, where I thought I'll only see you once a week, and it was good, I thought it was really good because it didn't interfere with my friends. It never did. I mean, he could care less about my friends. He never wanted to meet my friends. He never wanted to meet my kid. He was just happy with me going over there, watching movies that he had seen 50 million times, and then I would just leave. So it began really good. We talked every time I would come over there on the Sundays. He would talk and say, let's get on the same page. And so we would talk, and then we would go out to a restaurant, or he, like I said, that one time that I really, really fell in love with him was when he took me driving to all the places, because he was a native, where, he went to high school, houses that he and his mom, apartments and stuff that they lived in, and places he had worked. He drove me all over the place. So that was good. We used to do that. But what happened was it started to turn into just come over, watch these confusing freaking DC Marvel, I just don't get that whole thing, but DC Marvel thing, watch all those movies he'd seen 50 million times. I felt literally like, I don't know, like a call girl in the end, because I know this sounds terrible, but I would only see him once a week. He wouldn't even call me every day. He would just text me periodically. And so on Sundays, I was expected to go over there. And so it kind of just sort of became a chore, and I just because we kind of stopped talking about really important stuff. I would just come over there and he would just watch his shows, and he was so into it. And what really got me is the fact that he had seen these movies 50 million times. One time he did have me pick out a movie. He said, are you into scary movies? And I said, yes, do you like scary movies? I don't know, which Scream, is that where they came from? Anyways, it doesn't matter. I was all excited. I'm like, yes, okay. And I think I even said that, like, in our first A-Teamer Part 1, that we went to that scary movie, The Conjuring. So I was like, yes. Anyways, oh my God. I don't know what the movie was called. I don't remember. But it was just disgusting. Like, it wasn't a suspense thriller at all. It was blood and guts, mad slash horror. I don't even remember the freaking storyline, because you're just like, gross, gross, gross. So he did let me pick a movie one time, but it was gross. But here's what I regret. I should have talked to him. I saw us going down this path, and I should have talked to him. And that's why I feel like such a failure, because I'm upset, because I'm like, how does he think that this, why does he think this is okay? Well, he thinks it's okay because I was letting it go. I wasn't saying anything. I was being nice. And because and that's the problem, and I've had it in relationships, is because growing up in the church and in the family that I grew up in, like I told my dad, I grew up in this world where it's like, I feel like there was a big poster that said ramifications. And that's how it was growing up in the church, because people looked at you and you had to set an example. Okay, I was Father Pat's daughter, had to set an example. So you were very much into not rocking the boat. Think of your ramifications, think your actions, your words, your feelings, whatever. What effects is that going to have on somebody else? Okay, exhausting way to live. But that's kind of the house that I grew up in. So I do a little bit too much, and that's why I don't stand up for myself, because, anyways, but I should have talked to him about it, and I really regret it, because at the very end, I had it. because I didn't say anything, I just let this thing, I just felt taken for granted. I felt like a high-end call girl. I would just go over there. Sometimes he would cook me dinner. Sometimes he would just order a pizza, just watch the movies, and then I would leave. And we'd do that once a week. And I just felt like this isn't a relationship, but I should have said something, because when I went over there the last time, I hadn't seen him he had been sick. He said he was sick. And so I hadn't seen him for like 3 or 4 weeks. And I went over there, and I was a really cold-hearted bitch at that time, because I was just so bitter and just, you know what it was? That I had 3 weeks of not having to go over and watch those horrible movies and deal with that. And then, so I had 3 weeks that I just kind of took a break from him, and I was happy. And then he's like, oh, I'm feeling better. Come over. And I'm like, okay, fine. You know, I kind of felt bad he had been sick. Okay, fine. And I thought, maybe now that he's been sick, let's give this relationship a chance. Okay. So I go over there, but I had a chip on my shoulder, because I felt like it was a chore. And then he looked really bad. And I'd been sick and stuff. But I'm just like, you haven't seen me in like 3 weeks. Can't you be a little more excited? And he had the A-Team on. Yes, the A-Team, like the 1970s with Mr. T. Not the new show, apparently got remade or something. I don't know. He was out watching the A-Team, and I just sat down with a chip on my shoulder, and it was my fault, because I should have talked to him about it to begin with, but I didn't. I was really immature at that point. I just sat down. I was like, and I'm watching this thing, and I'm like, and I said, this is really corny. This is really bad. And he's like, what? I love this show. Don't knock my show. And I'm like, you love your show so damn much? Watch it. And I walked out the door, and I never saw him again. Yeah. So now you see why he's called A-Team da-da-da-da. Because that's how we broke up. Yeah. The end. Yeah. I will never watch the A-Team. I love Mr. T. Watched him on Dancing with the Stars. But sorry, Mr. T. I will never watch the A-Team. Okay, so now we are at the hope section. And this story really does give me hope, and it is a nice story. Normally, I will text somebody or whatever, write to them. It's all digital. But this story, I heard part of this story from the source itself, and it was in person, and I got to see both of them, and I really did see the love, and it was pretty cool. So this story is awesome. This girl, she had kind of been through the ringer with a lot of men. Of course, I know what that's like, right? And she had just had a little girl, kind of has my coloring, beautiful dark hair. Anyways, she just had a little girl, and she was working at the grocery store in Southern California. I met her in Northern California, and then she became a Southern California girl. Anyhow, she was working at a bakery, making all those pretty cakes. I've always wanted to do that. And he was a much younger guy, fresh out of high school guy, doing, and there's a special name for this, and she told me, and I can't remember, but apparently there's a special name for people that at the grocery store, they're not just checkout people, they don't just check you out, they also bag. So he was doing bagging, checking out, and he really took a liking to her. She's beautiful, I totally get it. But he took a liking to her, and she had been hurt and been through the ringer, and you know, and had this little girl that she was trying to protect, and I get that. And so she had her walls up, and she was really cautious about men, you know, and but he liked her, and the cool thing about him is he didn't give up. I think she did kind of brush him off a little bit, and then he just kind of softened her up, And she did tell me that, and I thought this was really, really nice. I really thought, wow, nobody's ever said this. So she told me that she prayed. She said, I prayed for him, Johanna. And I thought, oh. First I thought, oh, my dad? My dad would probably say, Johanna, you see, maybe you should pray. Yeah, so she said, I asked God to send me a good guy, a good man. And I must say, the power of prayer, wow, because he is a really good guy. My dad met him, and he said, that she really found a good guy, and he was very happy for her. So she prayed for him, and he buttered her up. And here's another thing that I thought was really, really kind of cool. He is like 8 years younger than she is. And I always have this kind of running joke that that guys are immature enough. Why add to it? So I never date younger. But, I shouldn't knock all guys, because there are some mature guys out there. And this guy really, he had his shit together at a very young age. And that's freaking amazing. And he showed her that. He, proved himself with her daughter. And it's just amazing. Okay, so I'm just going to go over some of the facts so we can and they met at a grocery store at work. And so Aiden's like, you see, they met organically. So Aiden's right. A lot of my hope stories, there are some exceptions, but a lot of my hope stories they are people meeting organically. And they did kind of start as friends too. That's kind of a running theme through my hope stories, is they started as friends. I'm going to just go to my phone so I can get the facts, okay? So, talked about the grocery store. She was doing the cake thing. He was checking out bagging. He buttered her up, got down those walls. Awesome with her daughter, okay? Now, this was in 97. Okay, when they began dating. And then in 98, he proposed to her. Now, my dad, this is cool. So they got married in October of 2003. So this is another thing. So they met in 97. They got married in 2003. So they dated for a while. They really got to know each other. And that's really important too. And my dad, I just love the pictures. So my dad married the two of them. But as we were just saying earlier, with Aiden dressing like a clergyman, always wearing the black and the gray, when my dad married this couple in 2003, he was wearing a red Hawaiian shirt, and they got married on the beach. Yes, on the beach. And this is something I never knew that my dad did. And they shared with me. Apparently, I guess they got like a cup of sand, or my dad got like a cup of sand to remember, and gave it to them to remember where they got married. I thought that was nice. So they got married in 2003. And this is what I can't believe. So they've been married for like 18 and a half years. Now, when she was telling me that she had prayed for him, for God to send her a good guy, she also told me a story that really touched my heart. And I really, I felt the love there for him, the love in the relationship. So he's a teacher, or I don't know if he's teaching now. I think he's a principal now. But anyways, he's a teacher. And he was teaching then, and I think this was back in California, I'm not sure. Anyhow, she decided to go in and watch him teach. And he is an amazing teacher. For those of you that know my dad's sermons, he would bring in props and kind of, I guess that's kind of this guy's style of teaching too. Very hands-on, very interactive, bringing tangible things in. And anyway, she got to see him in his teaching realm for the first time, and she was blown away. And he brought stuffed animals, and they were interacting, and it was very hands-on. And she's telling me this story about how she saw him in his niche, and he was so fit for that. And she was just blown away. And what I was blown away as she's telling me this story is the love that was there and the love that's still there. It's just like love. And then I finally got to meet him. I know, she's been married to him for 18 and a half years, and I finally got to meet him. I was so jealous. I think my dad's got to meet him twice and always spoke highly about him, but then I finally get to meet him. And the first thing he asked me, and this just melted my heart, but it kind of made me jealous too, because I want this. One day I want a guy like this. He asked me, he's like, so tell me some stories, because we grew up together. I was a little kid. She babysat me. And so she's like, tell me some stories about her. And you could just see he was just so intently wanting. I was just like, okay, like I didn't want to embarrass her, but I wasn't sure. But you could see the love and the just wonderful, just I want to hear all about her. And I thought that is so nice that he wants to know what she was like before he met her. Like he really wants to know her as a person. And he doesn't, I always feel like guys see me as, I'm sorry, a piece of ass or some money or something like, what can they get out of me? But when he asked me that, and I could see the love in his eyes, and he was so just like wanting to hear everything about his beautiful wife, I thought, that is love. You know, he sees her as a person, like a whole person that was a person before he met her. And that's just amazing. And so I got to see, and that's what's so cool about telling this story, is they really do have a really good friendship, relationship. They go to the movies, you know, I really could see that they are each other's best friends. And I asked her what were the keys to her relationship. And this I liked, and I've heard this before, and this is very hard to do. And I hate to say it, in my 2 marriages, I didn't always do this. We don't go to bed angry. We listen to one another. We support each other's goals. Very good. Prayer and deeply care for one another. Being kind to one another and showing each other affection. Okay. And that's key, because my dad often said, because he did a lot of marriage counseling, and he's kind of, the reason why I was also very open with my dad is he's kind of been there, done that, seen it all. So he said the running theme in a lot of relationships, like I always say, is people feel underappreciated, underloved, you know, that kind of thing. But the other thing that my dad notices about people is they stop treating their significant other like their friend. Like they can say the nastiest things and treat them terribly. And if you stop for a minute and you say, hey, would you treat your friend like that? Most people will be like, no. So that's the key, I think. And that's what they do. They still see, again, seeing the person as a person and seeing the person as a friend, never forgetting that, hey, this isn't just my husband or my ball and chain, as I hate that term, but that's what people do. This is a person. This is my friend, and they have achieved that. And I'm happy for you guys. I'm jealous, and I want that. So thank you for sharing that story. Okay, so thank you for watching another episode of Johanna Banana. One of my viewers, Nikki, noticed that I've only worn the blue and the purple and the pink wig. Yes. So, considering it is summer and it's starting to get hot, I'm rocking the yellow wig and my, look at these glasses. Aren't they great? Aiden, don't you love it? Summertime and living's easy. And another one of my viewers asked me if I had to be under the influence of something to put on a wig like this and rock it. No, I am this silly and crazy completely on my own, and I embarrass Aiden all the freaking time, and he knows it. Yeah. Ruby, what are you doing over here? Ruby likes to climb on Aiden's head, I think because it's so warm. Okay, so we are going to be wrapping up. Johanna Banana is coming to an end. I can't see anything. I gotta take this glass off. It's coming to an end. We're going to do about 6 more episodes. Yeah, we're going to do about, I think, 6 more episodes, but I am going to end it on Father's Day. I am going to talk about the anniversary. We're coming up on the anniversary of my dad's death, and I think that's the last thing that I kind of want to talk out, and then I'm good. But thank you. Thank you all for watching this episode and for supporting me in this crazy thing that I've decided to do. It's really helped me. And the Ruby is climbing all over Aiden and cracking it up. So, and I want to be serious right now and make a serious statement to all of these freaking shootings out here, okay? Like, I am a naive liberal that didn't freaking know that they didn't do background checks, okay? What the freak? Why are we not doing background checks? I didn't know in the state of Texas, Aiden and I both didn't know, that at 18 you could buy this, what is it? I don't even know guns. What does he have? Anyways, RA, right? He got 2 of them. Like, where did this kid get the money? Okay. Very sad, very tragic, but we do need reform and we need gun control. And I pray for all those people, from the grocery store to a church to the school. All these shootings all over the place is really sad, and I do pray for them all. And Ian and I completely believe in gun control. Okay, so yes, let's reform.